everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
All right, welcome back everybody to TRS Live. I am Matt Trotz, your host, and I'm excited to introduce the upcoming next product here. This is again the Coots Trollmaster. This is a special SLX 8-foot telescopic trolling rod. And for this one here, I'm even more excited because instead of me just kind of reading through some of my notes, we're actually going to be able to talk to Paul Coot Williams, the creator of this rod, and creates so many other great products. So here on TRS Live, I want to tell you all the truth, but it's for us, it's the ability to get the knowledge behind the company and to get everything that you need to know. So when you're purchasing a quality product here from the Real Shot and from the Coot brand, you know exactly what you're getting. So hey Coot, can you hear me?
Yes sir, I'm here.
Hey, what are you up to, buddy?
I'm out pre-fishing right now for a couple tournaments this weekend and head-to-head next week.
Oh, that's right. So Paul, for those who don't know, Paul Coot Williams is signed up for the Bago Beatdown 2 on Lake Winnebago. How's the fishing? Can you give us a little insight?
Well, I only caught 3 walleyes today, a 15 and a half, a 19 and a 21. Pretty slow right now for me, but we'll get on more fish.
So the method, are you trolling today?
Yes, I'm trolling out in the mud. I love open water trolling. That's my forte. I just love doing this, figuring out different lures, different depths, and all that kind of stuff. So it's been fun, but a lot of sheephead today too.
So, okay. So that actually works out really well that you're on Lake Winnebago. Are you using, obviously, the Coots Trollmaster rod right now?
Oh yeah, I got my 8-footers here.
So while we got you, we don't want to take up a whole lot of your time, but I mean, tell us all about the creation of this rod and some of the benefits and some of the components why you feel, Paul Coot Williams, this is the rod that you trust day in and day out.
Well, 3 years ago, I approached HT. They're very good friends of mine. They helped me do other products. And I asked Ken Grohl, the owner, I said, can you help me design a trolling rod? Because I want an affordable trolling rod for people that can buy, and it's good quality. So we came up with this design, and I've been running it for the last 3 years. I've sold 1,600 pieces already, and I got another 1,000 coming next week, which is great. So this 8-foot telescopic rod collapses down to 6'9". There's modifications that I did. I shortened the butt up by 3 inches. There's 2 metal reel seats on there, which is a strong point to hold your reels and also bigger reels. The thumb screw is on the back side of the reel. This is where you can thread up and make it nice and tight. The foregrip is a triangular foregrip. It conforms right to your hand, so you're not going to have any roll or twist on that foregrip. And it also has the a lure saver hook there, and also they're all stainless steel eyes on mine. It's a graphite rod. It has lots of sensitivity. It's got a good whip on the end when you're pulling boards and waves. It acts like a shock absorber up there. So I've been pretty happy, and a lot of great comments with these rods.
Oh man, I know at the Real Shot we sell a ton of these rods, and I want to kind of break down some of the components first and foremost that you went over there, because I mean, as I'm holding this rod in my hand, the first thing I notice is it's extremely light. Do you kind of remember some of the weight that this rod has?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, that's 5.1 ounces.
Dude, it is extremely light, and it feels really nice too. And the next thing I want to kind of get into here, and you hit on it briefly, is talk about that foregrip. What was the concept behind that triangular foregrip?
Well, I've had a lot of trolling rods in my hands, and they always had the reel seat with the foregrip. And I never liked that because every time you're battling a nice fish, it's always twisting and loosening up the reel. We don't want the reel to fall off playing a fish. So that's why I put the reel seat thumb screw on the back side. And the foregrip, I just love it because it conforms right to your hand.
It really does, and that's the other thing I noticed right away is grabbing this rod is it literally does conform to the hand very nice. And what a genius concept to come up with that thumb screw on the backside. I mean, this thing is full of technology. And okay, so here's one question. A lot of times when you're putting a rod like this, you know, in the rod holder as you're trolling, some guys prefer that longer butt to get it out, maybe clear the boards and everything like that. What was your idea behind going with the shorter butt?
It's more, it helps kids when they're also reeling the fish in. And another good point is the rod does not stick so far into your boat because a lot of these boats have side compartments. And you can't lift up the side compartment with that such a long rod in there now. And with the shorter butt, it makes it a lot easier right now.
So yeah, and again, it's just all kinds of design features that make a ton of sense. What did you say this rod collapses down to?
6'9".
6'9". So that'll pretty much fit in every rod locker that's out there, right?
Yes, yes.
This is, man, I mean, and okay, so talk about the length to the action on this 8-foot rod. I mean, I know we have an 8'6", that's a medium, and with the fast, I mean, talk about the application that this rod is going to be perfect for.
Well, it's definitely designed for pulling boards, which I'm doing right now. And I also have a dead stick out, which means I'm actually using a 2-ounce weight and a kill zone for a dead stick on the side of the boat. I do that a lot on the open water trolling, and also I like pulling dead sticks in the river with slow depth and flies. It works great for that.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is awesome. And let's get into the guides a little bit. Can you talk about the guides that you went with for this rod?
Yep, I went with stainless steel. I didn't care for ceramic because it seemed like a lot of those ceramic guides were popping out all the time. So I opted to go with the stainless steel one. So now you don't have to worry about rust either.
Yeah, it's so many great ideas. Hey, now, since you have so many great ideas that's built into one rod, and again, we're talking about the Coots Trollmaster. This is the SLX and the 8-foot. Tell the fans out here at TRS Live a little bit about your background and how you come up with some of these ideas.
I've always been taught to never criticize another man's work unless I can do it better. And that's why I take a product and I try to tweak it and make it better. The trolling rod system, I had to come up with something better that's more affordable and durability. My firefly lights came from just trolling at night with other products, and I came up with a better design for that one. The Magneto, I love the Magneto. Everybody does too for your landing nets. Make it 4-pound system, hooks up, releases when you get the fish in the net. Then I have the rattling wasp on. I actually kind of copied Selmo, but I made enough changes so I wouldn't have any patent infringements or nothing like that. And actually, the owner from Poland called me. He said, "You copied my lures." I said, "No, I didn't. I made it better," and he hung up on me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just like reinventing the wheel a little bit, on certain products because it seems like there's always something that can be tweaked or made better, and that's what I plan on doing all the time. I even have a ice fishing thing that'll be coming out in 2024 now.
Whoa! Is this a little tidbit of information, a little insider secret? Can you give us a little sneak peek of what that might be?
Well, I'm pretty well known for summer fishing, but I do a lot of ice fishing too. So I finally designed something for HT. Like I said, I took one of their products and I made it totally different and more adaptable for different conditions. And they just loved it when I first presented it to them. So this winter, I got a bunch of pro staffers that are going to be testing this out to make sure it's all good and tweaked right, and then hopefully it'll be on the market 24 then.
Oh, that's exciting. So the question I have too is, I mean, you've talked about a lot of your inventions, a lot of the products that you went with. Like, do you remember exactly what your first invention that you made was?
That was back in 2004. I came up with the Coots Lure Kit, and I had two kits, the Coot 1 and Coot 2, and each kit contained 19 pieces in it, and you could actually design over 1,000 lures with that kit in your boat. It was all interchangeable, and that's what first started my whole process with worm harnessing and flutter spoons and all that.
Holy man. So, I mean, that was the first, and it just developed into there. I mean, and again, so we're talking about the Coots Trollmaster. This is the SLX 8-foot telescopic rod. Again, on your screen, you're going to see it's CT-S8TR. So I gotta ask, where did the nickname Coot come from?
Well, I grew up as a duck hunter from my dad. He shot a lot of coots, and that's how I ended up getting my nickname, Coot, or Coot Man.
Okay.
I shot a lot of coots in my younger days.
That a boy. And so it just kind of stuck, huh?
Well, yeah, that's about it.
Well, a lot like your great ideas they have, right? I mean, it's just something that, you know, you kind of went with, it stuck, and I mean, it just ended up being the great name and the great products that we have here. So, and okay, so let's talk about this. The rod that we have in hand here is normal retail price for $49.99. We're going to give it to the TRS Live fans for $10 off. That's $39.99. What about hitting that high-end price point at that extremely affordable price? What did you feel was missing, you know, at that mid-range price point that you're going to give all these high-end features away? I mean, really, realistically, this could be a $90 rod all day long.
It could, but, you know, I want people to go out and purchase something that you know is going to be quality without a high price. And to have a $100 trolling rod is just, to me, is insane. And I can prove it right here. These trolling rods work great. Everybody loves the sensitivity of them and the lightweight. So that's why my goal is met. I've done it.
Yeah, and I love that fact. I mean, let's get people into the outdoors. Let's not sticker shock them away from even getting into something like that. And, you know, working at the Real Shot here, that's one thing we get a lot of. What's a great trolling rod at a very affordable price? And you knocked it out of the ballpark when you brought this rod in, when you came up with this. Because when did you release this rod again to the market?
That would be 3 years ago.
Okay, and it's been selling like hotcakes for us ever since. I mean, it's such a great rod, and I love again the triangular foregrip, the shortened butt to be a lot more maneuverable for men, women, and kids when they're getting into. And that's one thing, Coot, that you do a lot of. I mean, getting kids introduced into the outdoors is one big thing, and you know, to think about the kid in mind when you're trolling. I mean, let's make something that could be potentially slow, let's make it super exciting and getting kids involved. I love that fact.
Yeah. I'll be doing the Mercury Kid Tournament July 24th, a little tweak out there. That's over at Skipper Bud's. That's always a great time taking these kids out. And we do the CPR format with them. We take pictures, put it on the Donkey amp and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of treat them like they are a pro with me that day.
That's awesome. I mean, talk about, okay, so how many days do you spend on the water typically each year, on a good year, let's say?
Well, don't tell my wife. It's probably over 100.
Oh. And I mean, the cool thing is we're so passionate on American made and locally made. I mean, the knowledge that you have, a lot of people don't know this, but you're right around the Fox Valley area, right?
Yeah, I live down in south of Oshkosh. I've pretty much been here all my life. I was a firefighter in Appleton for 28 years, retired from out of there. Great place to live and work. So I'm happy to be retired and doing what I love, the passion of fishing now.
So, yeah, and that's great because like it gives you a lot more time and it gives a lot more time out to our fans for you to come up with some more creative ideas. Like you said, you got an ice fishing product coming up, but I just absolutely love the weight and feel of this 8-foot SLX rod. And I mean, the engraving here too, I mean, it looks so fancy. You got the Trollmaster written right in there, designed pro fisherman Paul Coot Williams. How many tournaments you got coming up this season, Paul, besides head-to-head?
This weekend I have Van Dyne, and I have then Sunday's Sheboygan Walleye Club. Then I got the law enforcement tournament after the Merck National. Then I just do the Sheboygan Walleye Club. But I'm trying to wean my waist away from the tournaments. I just have so much fun taking my friends out fishing. I just came back from Lake Erie. I spent 6 weeks over there with my friends. It was awesome.
How's the fishing? Really good out there right now?
Oh, I'm spoiled. It's hard to come back to Winnebago with just little fish.
So, okay, we're hitting on this 8-foot rod. Now, the availability of the 8'6" is something that the Reel Shot carries as well. So, compare, when would you go from the 8-footer to the 8'6"? What are you looking for when you want to go to that little extra rod?
Well, it wasn't so much my preference, it's other customers' preference. I try to give the customer what they want. A lot of the guys like the 8'6" when they troll harnesses. It's got a little bit more limber to it to absorb shock on the boards if it's rough, if they're pulling harnesses. But I try to give the customer what they want. Like I got 7-foot one-piecers coming in right now. Some guys just prefer one piece, so I try to cater to the customer.
Yep, and I love that fact. I mean, it's again, like this is one thing that we try to do, and especially on the sales floor for the Reel Shot, is listen to what the needs and the wants of the customers are, right? Like we can't obviously carry everything, but if you can get that niche that you know that everybody wants, and this rod is one of those rods, and I love the fact, Coot, too, that you know that this is a high-end rod at a very affordable price. And the thing about it, too, here in Wisconsin, you can run, how many rods can you run per angler in the state of Wisconsin for those who don't know?
You can run 3 rods per person. So today I'm only running 3 because I'm all by myself. I wish I had another person in there because and most of the time, if I get 4 people, I can run 12 rods in my boat.
Yeah. But I mean, the point of that is so if you're one person or 2 people, right, that's 3, that's 6 potential rods. And if you're buying rods for that $90 price point, that adds up extremely quick. So this, at a $39 price on a special right now, this is an absolutely amazing deal. And I highly encourage people while they're on the Reel Shot, again, it's CTS8TR, enter that into the search tab. It's going to bring you up to this Coots Trollmaster. This is a special. It's the SLX 8-foot telescoping rod. And I mean, let me ask you this, Coot. As a beginner troller, do you lose any of the features with the rod that it's telescoping, or that just adds to the benefits?
Mostly because of the telescopic rod, it's because of rod storage. It has really nothing to do with the playing of the fish or nothing like that. It's just more or less rod storage. That's all it is.
Yep, and it makes a ton of sense. I mean, the thing about it is it fits tight. Once you have it telescoped all the way out to that 8-foot point, there's no chance that it's going to collapse on its own. Plus, just with a little slight twist of it, you know, it is right back in there. Is there any special storage tips that you would recommend when you're storing these rods, whether it's in the boat on a normal day or just in the off season? Is there anything special you need to do, or it's so durable that just set it where you need to be and you just move on?
Normally in my boat, I put rod socks on mine because I would hate to say this, about 20 rods in my rod locker because I got it all set up for certain fishing types, but that'll actually help prevent any damage to the eyes or your lines. So rod socks are always a great thing to have on the rod.
Perfect. Now, I want to ask another question. We're talking a lot about this great rod that we have here at the Reel Shot. What reel for this 8-foot rod? Can you talk about what your Coot Paul Williams preferred reel is for this rod?
Well, I'm a Daiwa guy. I've been using Daiwa for almost 30 years. I use the 27 LC line counters, and it's got the double rubber paddle reel, and I love that because it's easy. Your fingers don't get sore holding it. And when I take out kids, they have something they can hang on to. It's simple and easy for them.
So, I mean, the Daiwa, there's the Akuma stuff. All this would be a good pair. How important is weight when you're looking for a quality trolling setup?
Mean weight of the rod?
Yeah, the weight of the rod. Yep, the overall weight. Does that really matter a whole lot? Or unless you're like a young kid or something like that, is that more the important time?
Well, I went to the graphite because it's sensitivity, it's lighter weight. And if you went through fiberglass, it's going to be a little bit heavier and more cumbersome. So that's why I prefer a graphite. You know, it's kind of insane to have a graphite trolling rod, but after I got this thing going, it blew my mind how great it was.
Yep. And then, like you said, this is a fast tip, and that gives a little play as the boards, potentially when the boards go back. Like you're hopefully experiencing more and more today as you're pre-fishing for the next head-to-head event. So I want to talk a little bit about that for a brief moment. How are the fish? What's the fish health like right now on Lake Winnebago?
Well, it's only my second day back in Winnebago, so I don't have too much info besides the couple walleyes I did catch today, but I actually got 2 boards going back right now as we're talking.
Well, hey, this is a perfect time. So again, we'll kind of wrap it up with you, Coot. I do appreciate you making the time today. Again, you got a great social media following. Could you just kind of tell people where they could follow you on your socials as well?
Yeah, you can go to my TikTok at Coots Lures. I got over 52,000 people following me here. I get a lot of great comments, especially when I fish Lake Erie. I try to give out reports. I try to give out information to people where I'm doing it, how I'm doing it. Like I say, I always want people to go out and catch fish. So Facebook, you can Coots Lures there. My YouTube channel has got over 2,100 following there. Especially on my YouTube, I do more in-depth talking about certain rod setups, how I do things in my boat, all that kind of stuff. So it's all great information. Just check it out.
Well, cool. We appreciate it, Coot. Now go catch those fish, man, and we'll talk to you next week during the head-to-head event.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot. So that, everybody, was Paul Coot Williams, the creator of the SLX. This is the Coots Trollmaster SLX 8-foot telescopic rod. And like he said, man, he told you all the benefits to this rod. Man, the titanium guides. This is one here, and I thank you, Aaron, for bringing that video up. That triangular foregrip, that's something to me that just absolutely makes sense. The more I hold it in my hand, especially if you do have some smaller hands, whether you're a young child or a woman with a little bit smaller hands, this thing just fits so nice in the grip. I love it. I mean, I think there's other applications for this grip with some other rods. The other thing too that was so super smart that he did, he put the thumb screw on the tail end of the butt seat here. That just makes a ton of sense. So again, everybody, you heard it from Coot himself. The man has been inventing for a long time. He has so many great products that the Real Shot carries. So, I mean, you got to go ahead and check it out. And at $10 off right now, normal retail price $49.99, you're going to get this one for $39.99. And if you elect to use your Fixed TV $5 coupon this month, you can also take another $5 off that price with a Fixed TV subscription. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. Yet you got to buy, you heard Coot. I mean, 3 lines in Wisconsin. Check your local listings depending on what state you are with your DNR regulations, how many rods, but normally at a $49.99 price range, this is an extremely high-end rod at a great price. And we're going to give you $10 off here. You see all the information on your code right now, so enter it in on your monitor. It's CTS8TR. This is a phenomenal product. Go ahead and get a couple of them. Again, Father's Day is coming up. Birthdays are coming up. It's trolling season. You heard Coot talking about he's out in the mud in Lake Winnebago. That's usually something that starts to get really hot this time of year. And the other cool thing too is you can watch Coot next week on head-to-head fishing on Fixed TV. Use this exact rod, this 8-foot telescopic rod, out on a head-to-head event. You're going to be able to listen and witness and get the testimonial from the man himself during this head-to-head event. So again, everybody, this is a great product. One last time, normal retail price $49.99. We're taking $10 off right now. This is a one model we got to clear out because you heard him. He's got 1,000 models coming in. But with the way everything is going right now, he said they should be here next week. We don't know if there's a delay right now. We don't know if those rods are going to be delayed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks, maybe further on, more months like this. So right now, take advantage of $10 off. Fixed TV subscribers may get an additional $5 off if you have your $5 coupon left. So just get this rod. This is one last time, the Coots Trollmaster. This is a SLX 8-foot telescopic rod. This is a great rod. Graphite, lightweight. He said 5 ounces. This thing feels great. Take that money that you're saving, pair it with a Daiwa reel, pair it with an Akuma reel that you're finding on the Reel Shot website. This is a great product. And speaking of reels, that's what we're coming up with next. We are going to go to a Descent reel right now. This is the next product. This is from 13